What's happening, guys? This is Blast SB, and today we're going to be talking about home defense shotguns. So I don't really care if it's a pump or a semi-automatic, a 20 or a 12 gauge. It doesn't matter for this video. The main gist of this video is going to be how we carry our ammunition, different ways we can carry it. Everything from just having the side saddle or just having your magazine tube loaded to having, full-on chest gear like this. It's all going to depend on what you're out doing, how much time you have to react to something like a home invasion where you might need multiple rounds of shotgun ammo to be fired. Okay, so first things first, you are always going to start with your magazine tube entirely full. Everybody, it's your own personal decision if you want to leave a round chambered in the gun or not. I'm going to leave that undisclosed for personal reasons here, but this shotgun holds 7 rounds of 12 gauge. It's a Remington 870 tactical. It's kind of been franken-gunned a little bit just because I took the original turkey stock off of it and put the standard stock on it, cut it down a little bit. But other than that, I haven't changed much. Okay, so my side saddle here is a Velcro side saddle. So the big difference is between a Velcro side saddle is the other ones bolt on. Other ones, instead of Velcro, will actually go into where these trigger pins are and bolt into the receiver using either the factory trigger pins or provided trigger pins by the company, such as I know if you buy a shot shell carrier from GG&G, I know that they will provide you with brand new ones that are good too, probably just as good as the factory. However, I don't like switching out factory stuff on my home defense equipment. Okay, so this is nice. First thing you notice, all the shells are going down. Or I should say they're up. They're not facing this way here. The reason for that is because if I was shooting a competition, I would have them down because I can load the gun faster this way. As far as loading the magazine tube, it's very intuitive, but as you're moving and bumping into stuff and firing the gun, if they're down, you're going to slowly but surely rattle a couple out of there. And you might rattle all of them out of there, who knows. Bottom line is I don't want to rattle any out, or I'm going to keep that to a minimum if I can. So what I'm going to be doing is keeping all the shells oriented upwards just like that in the same way. And I'm really not going to be reloading the gun unless I'm going to port load the gun. So, basically firing all 7 rounds into my gun until it is empty, pulling it back to the rear, dropping around into the port, and firing that way. Because I could very quickly, do it, bang, drop it in, fire, drop it in, fire, get in, fire. So it's very quick to just port load the gun and fire, port load the gun and fire, as opposed to port loading the gun and then magazine loading, or just loading the magazine and then pumping the gun. Okay, so that's one good way to do it. I prefer this. Keeps it a little bit more versatile. If I want to, I can take that extra weight off of there and just run the 7 rounds of 12 gauge, which is good. The SOE micro rig will provide you maximum firepower. So it's having you, 2 6-rounders, and when you're done, you got 6 more. So 24 rounds of shells right there. Inside the pouch over here, these are carriers from High Speed Gear, and you can see that the actual carrier is made out of Kydex, and then the Kydex is attached to the Cordura with the Velcro on it. And that makes it pretty nice and rigid, and that these also, you know, they fit right on the receiver there, and you would be good to go. That's not going to fall off or rattle off or anything like that. You'd be set. So I have some slugs in here, you know, so everything is, nothing is super fast like the competition stuff. You know, they sell all those, I think they're called like load 2, where you grab 2 shells at a time and push them in. And they sell the speed strips, all that stuff. That's all nonsense in a realistic, you know, gunfight scenario where you're in your house fighting for your life, okay? You're just going to want to keep it simple. Motor control skills, you don't want to be having all those little doodads. Operating the safety and, you know, your sights and all that stuff is enough, okay? So we don't need to do extra crap on top of that. But one more thing I wanted to show you, and this is kind of the one area of competition gear. I guess all this could be kind of derived from competition style gear. But are these things here. I'm not really sure what they are exactly called, but the idea is that you can grab all of them at once. So I can either come over and just grab one at a time, which is really easy to pick them out, or I can just reach over, strip all of them, and start loading the magazine to the shotgun. And it's relatively quick way to get 4 rounds in the gun. Obviously if I practice it over and over, that would become much quicker. 1, 2, 3, 4, you know. I believe par time for, you know, perfect, not perfect, but excellent shotgun is 1 per second. So 5 seconds is 5 shells. If you have 6 rounds, you know, it should take you 6 seconds to load. So use that as a good basic line. If you can get it down to 1 second, you know, where you can load 5 rounds in 5 seconds, you're doing extremely well. If you're doing anything quicker than that, you're kicking ass. All right. So again, I talk about consistency with all my gear. You'll notice that all my shells, no matter what, are all in the same direction. So no matter where I grab them from, they're all coming out the exact same way, so I can index it into the magazine tube, okay? That goes for the shells that are on the chest to even these here. I can pull it out and index it directly into the magazine tube, all right? So, 12 gauge shotgun, very good. 20 gauge shotgun, very good. If you can shoot a 12 gauge, you can shoot a 20 gauge better. Either or. Obviously, I prefer the 12, but just figure out what equipment you're going to use with it. I also have a trauma kit and a rat's tourniquet in here, so that's something to think about if you're going to have a home defense rig, and also a good solid sling, so nobody's going to be taking this weapon away from me. You know, this thing is, I know I've heard the argument before that, you know, somebody could take your gun from you. Well, if it's physically attached to you, you know, they're not going to be able to aim it at me because it's so long. And, you know, chances are they're not going to get to me anyway. I have a shotgun in my hand, you know, and I'm pumping it and I'm pressing the trigger if you're rushing me with a weapon or something. So anyway, if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, and I'll be getting back up with another video soon. Thanks for watching. Have fun. Be safe.